So today's video is going to be about a shoot I did a couple of months ago on a football player, firefighter. His name's Chris. But anyway, let's just hop into it. On the first day of the shoot, I got to go to the fire department and just film with them. I was given one little note saying that, hey, you might be able to go on an emergency with them. If you do, don't die. That was my instructions. We're having an interview with this one of his friends, and the emergency goes off, and Chris comes around the corner and he's like, yeah. I remember thinking, don't cut. Just let the camera record. You don't know what you're gonna get. And at a certain point I did cut. I was just recording the floor. I really realized how good the FX6 is for documentary running gun filmmaking. I knew I wanted a shot of the fire truck taking off. So the shot I put at the back of the fire truck, and I was just like, let's see, let's get it leaving. Because I knew they were gonna drive around back. I didn't need that much out of this shot. I was standing outside with my FX6 to get the the outside of it leaving the building. They were doing some training going on top of a building, so they would go up on top of the building and then come down and then come back up. It was just like some basic training, I guess. Again, minimal rigging stuff. I used 2 friction arms, these rails on the ladder. I think in hindsight, I should have put the camera higher up so I could have seen more of the outside world, because right now, really all you see is just the ladders. It's a nice shot, but it doesn't give you any kind of real parallax or perspective. I'm happy that I was able to bring my Contax Zeiss 50mm. I like to sneak in my Zeisses wherever I can. And I used a 50mm as my B shot to get my second angle on the interviews. I ran into an issue with my second tripod. I brought a really lightweight tripod that day. It was too lightweight, and so when I would bring it up to the maximum height, it was very unstable. I didn't like it. When I was flying the drone, off in the distance I saw a water tower, and I don't know why in my head I was like, we need that. I was like, that's a fun little thing. Like, ooh, a water tower, let's go get it. On day 2, I got to shadow him as he did his second job. I have a Tiffin 4x565 ND filter, so it's 1 stop and it's a Pro Mist. I think it's an 1/8 strength, same as what I'm using there now, but you can't see it so much in this shot. And the reason I thought about using it was I knew we were going to be outside all day. The image had this nice, as you know, when you promised, it had this nice little softness to it, and filming in, filming outdoor, harsh conditions. On day 2, also with the FX30, I did this thing where I put it in this kind of wonky spot, and it was like right on the A-pillar of the car, using the handrails of his truck. On the way back, my shot was out of focus, and it kind of really upset me because I couldn't do anything about it because I was in the back seat I love the French over the shoulder. I think it's a beautiful shot. Day 3, I had to drive to Athens, Georgia. So not too bad. Again, shot some interviews. I only had like a 30-minute window to shoot the interviews with them. It's sometimes kind of hard to shoot B-roll when you don't know what you're gonna use or what you need. I had this idea of putting the FX30 on the side of my truck. I wanted it low. I wanted it real low. I want to get my tire spinning and turning, but I didn't have, again, the proper rigging material to do so. So I used a little clamp, suction cup, and 2 magic arms. Looking at it afterwards, I realized I had way too much mirror in my shot. The deliverables in 1080p, so I zoomed in a bit and then I panned to the left, or whatever, reframed to the left a bit. And the reason I wanted to get this shot was, if in the interview they say, hey, we had this emergency, we had to go to the hospital, then just pulling up to this place would give me that feeling of urgency and, I don't know, storytelling. So that was the end of day 3. I got some more generic B-roll with the drone. It's so funny, you fly the drone and you're like, oh, wow, done, if you can tilt down and maybe pan a little bit, or move the drone to the right or left a bit as you're tilting down, it's like crisp. And then on day 4, we went and filmed the interview with him. Super chill dude. I'll show a little bit of the B-roll of stuff that doesn't give away who he is or where he is. A couple frames from the actual main interview. I did mess up a little bit. I was trying to control 4 cameras, and that was a big mistake. I should not have done 4. I really wanted to do this one real hard, side profile shot, kind of like this. Didn't get that one proper. My A camera shot ended up being a little underexposed. Because I was underexposed a bit, I never clipped my highlights, so I was able to then lift my shadows and I was fine. So while I was editing this, I needed a shot, right? I needed to show you that GoFundMe was happening and that it had doubled. So in my brain, I was like, I can screenshot it and then just kind of manipulate it in post. But I had my A7 IV 51.4 on me, and then I put it on the camera on the table's edge, and just kind of ran my hands across it, trying to hold my camera real steady. So I shot that right there at the table, just for more B-roll, and I showed it to my buddy Michael, who's also the producer for it, and he was like, "Hey, no, that works. That's pretty good."
Medically, I'm not worried about things, but when I'm by myself, sometimes it has nothing to do with me. It's my family and my friends and the people that are important to me. I'm not ready to be done with those relationships. I'm not ready to be out of their lives just yet. That's kind of what hit me when they told me. And the first thing I thought about was my kids. I haven't had enough time with them yet. So that's what scares me the most. Surgeries, diagnosis, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. But I've got a lot of people I care a lot about, and I just want to spend some more time with them.
This was a really cool project I've done. Got to work with Chan again. I love working with Chan. I'm really happy with what we ended up making on this like 9-minute piece, and I'll share a link to Vimeo where you can watch it. Yeah, no, this is really all I had. Or I don't think I've done one of these like this where I just talk about something that I shot. I'm hoping I could do 1 or 2 more this year. I'm going to be working on Adios Papa still, and a couple other things that I have on the table. It's just taking some time and a lot of effort, but I feel like that's everything. Anyway, yeah, if anything else comes up, I'll let y'all know. Hasta la próxima, mi gente. Stay tuned.